This one underway for the CRA Street Stocks, brought to you by EDCO Welding. Schaefer and Myers across the line. J.J. Schaefer on the inside of Josh Myers in turn number 2. Schaefer goes into the lead. Myers just trying to hang on to second. Wow, close call for Tom Gosser. He got out of shape coming off of 2, dropped all the way to the bottom of the track, and he's finally now getting back up to speed. 3 wide on the front stretch. Oh, Carl Muffley and Winston Wood. Muffley slams the wall. Wood goes around sideways. He will then collect the 29 of Gosser, collected in the 29 car. And caution is out with 1 lap in and 49 to go. J.J. Schaefer on the low side, Josh Myers on the high side, 1 in, 49 laps to go and a good restart. Coming off of the 4th turn, Josh Myers in the number 5 goes into the lead, heading into turn 1, trouble in front of the field. They'll pile them up in the first corner, many cars involved, and caution and red will come out going into turn number 1. Heavy damage to several of the automobiles. We see Mason involved. We see Parham down there. Robert Amos Jr., Frankie Oakes, Joshua Carroll pulling away from the scene. Danny Smith in the 2 is stopped. He's starting to back up. Jason Drummond in the 77 is there. Reidner in the 96. The 50 car. The 50 car of Barkas. As you see Mason from the 33 and Hadley in the 12 talking things over. Mason got out of his car pretty quickly. Ready for a restart, 1 lap in, 49 to go. We're back underway. The number 5 of Myers goes into the lead, heading to turn number 1. The 95 of Hopkins joining him in the 2nd spot. Jason Thompson's car looks to still be strong. The top qualifier from this weekend in the 28 car, racing for a top 5 spot, now just 1 spot out in 6th. Leading lap number 2 will be Josh Myers in the number 5. Myers has a challenger coming from the inside, the 95 of Newcastle, Indiana driver Brian Hopkins. Hopkins racing with Myers for the race lead. Jimmy Kirby makes it a 3-car battle with the front of the field. Kirby right there in the 3rd position. For 4th, Thompson on the inside of Parham. Move Thompson up to 4th. His car looks to be just fine. And Hopkins again challenging for the number 1 spot. It's Kirby going to the outside for 2nd. Jimmy Kirby to the high lane of Brian Hopkins. Close, tight racing on the backstretch. Oh, Thompson closing rate was very fast into turn 3. First through 6th in a lead breakaway. Running 7th is Smith. 8th is Amos. 9th is Poor. 10th is Hadley. 11th, 12th, and 13th in a battle. That's Carroll, Oakes, and Segvich. Jason Thompson to the inside of Brian Hopkins for the number 2 position. Coming in to complete lap number 7, Myers leading, but Hopkins and Thompson challenging to the low side. It will be Hopkins leading at the line. Contact coming from Myers. They continue on into turn number 1. Some pretty heavy contact between the 2 at the front straightaway as they headed in to turn number 1. And now Myers is right on the rear bumper of Hopkins. Thompson looking for a way around. Jason Thompson to the inside of Myers for 2nd. Kirby within striking distance, but it's going to be Thompson taking 2nd away from Myers. Tries to slide up in front of him and does on the front straightaway. Jason Thompson, top qualifier, up to 2nd. Just 1 more driver between he and the lead. The 95 of Brian Hopkins. Thompson stronger through the corners. Hopkins maybe a little stronger down the straightaway. Hopkins pulls away a little bit on the straight shoots, up to a couple of car lengths heading into turn number 3, and then going through the middle of the corner. Boy, Thompson takes it right up along the outside retaining wall. Oh, Thompson sideways entering turn 1, car a bit free, which he would need to make a run to the inside of Brian Hopkins. So far, he hasn't been able to do so. Goes into 3 high, ducks to the low side in turn number 4, and Thompson challenging for the lead, not quite yet. Again to the bottom, side by side for the lead. Thompson, best run so far, but Hopkins, the big thumper underneath the hood of the 95 car, pulls back ahead, but Thompson will clear him down in turns 3 as Hopkins drops back to 2nd. Kirby is now 3rd. And Jason Thompson leads lap number 18. Rich Segvich in the 91 has gone down the circuit. And Segvich locks him up going into turn 2. He loses a right front wheel. Wheel coming off of the right front of Segvich's 91 car. And Josh Poor will clip it, and the wheel back up the banking it goes. Sam Pierce Chevrolet Pace Truck pit side. Jason Thompson the leader, the top qualifier this weekend, looking for the victory with 21 circuits to go. We are back underway at Winchester for the EDCO Welding CRA Street Stocks. Hopkins gives him a pretty good room into turn number 1, and Hopkins will take over the lead again. Hopkins back out front, so Thompson unable to hold on to the lead for more than a lap. That restart helping Brian Hopkins out. He's now out front in the driver's seat. We're halfway, 20 laps in, 20 laps to go in this shortened feature for the EDCO Welding CRA Street Stocks. Parham takes it right up along the outside retaining wall. Here comes Josh Myers in the 5, looking to the low side of Danny Smith for 5th. Two-car breakaway. Brian Hopkins putting a few car lengths on Jason Thompson. Thompson's car seems to have slowed a little bit from the green flag run previous to the yellow. Parham running 3rd. Kirby was 4th, got up nearly into the wall in turn number 2, and Danny Smith to the low side in the 2. Smith racing for 4th. He was involved in that first lap crash, really the second lap crash for the number 2 of Danny Smith. Had to change the radiator in the 2 as well as do some work to the front of that car, but it's running pretty well in the top 5 right now. Hopkins has pulled away from Jason Thompson. You wonder what happened to the 28 car of Thompson. It was so strong before the caution, and now his car has faded. Brian Hopkins has put nearly a half straightaway lead on Jason Thompson right now. 133 of Parham running 3rd, 4th Jimmy Kirby, and 5th the number 2 of Danny Smith. Hopkins continues to extend his lead up to a 2.5 advantage over Jason Thompson. The last time around, they turned nearly identical lap times. This time, Hopkins was better than Thompson. More laps to go for the 95 of Brian Hopkins. Closing on the 77 of Jason Drummond and the 26 of Frankie Oakes as they move over to the low side. Hopkins lead now in the 95 car up to 2.4 seconds, continues to grow. Really unbelievable after Thompson had taken the lead on lap 18 and looked like he was going to run away with it. Joshua Carroll in the 19 car rolling down pit road. Parham trying to hang on to the number 3 spot, but he's got Jimmy Kirby and Danny Smith right there with 4 laps to go. .37 in, 3 to go this time for the 95 of Brian Hopkins. Final circuit, white in the air for Brian Hopkins. Jason Thompson crosses the line with a lap to go, 2.5 seconds behind the leader. Coming to the checkered, Brian Hopkins picks up the victory just on the final circuit. Kirby gets by Parham for 3rd. Danny Smith tries to come along. It's a battle for 4th. Thompson 2nd, finishing 3rd will be Kirby. Smith in 4th, Parham 5th. Coming home 6th is Myers, 7th is Hadley, 8th J.J. Schaefer, 9th Josh Poor, and 10th Robert Amos Jr.